My jiu-jitsu gym, Renzo Gracie Houston, just had their promotion this past week. And I want to shout out a couple of my teammates who've made a huge impression on my rolling who just got promoted. So let's get started. Chris Calhoun came up with me in jiu-jitsu. We both came up as white belts together. We actually competed against each other in our very first competition. He jumped up 20 pounds just to fight me. He moves really fast. He's very explosive. And he's a vegan. So all that muscle, no animal protein. Chris just got his purple belt. And you know what? He tore his knee a couple of months ago and he's been practicing still. He comes to practices just to watch when he can't train physically and get those mental reps. It's awesome to watch. That guy, he's a trooper. Conrad Spangler is an Olympic wrestler who completely changed the wrestling scene after coming to Renzo Gracie.
That don't know, Conrad has some exceptional skills. What? Anytime you want to find out what I'm talking about, just ask him to roll.
Yeah, but can he wrestle?
He's all right at wrestling.
We know he can wrestle. Conrad's also currently ranked number 1 at his age division for the IBF.
If you ever rolled with him, you're gonna feel like your head's gonna get torn off. And you know, he wrestled with the greats back in Iowa. This dude's a legend. He's a huge impact for our community over at Renzo, and I'm super glad to have him. Ross, this guy is a giant, and he's also a police officer, so it's extremely scary combination. He just got his well-deserved brown belt. I'm gonna let Professor Mike tell the rest of the story.
Let me tell you something about Ross. He's also my assistant coach in the littlest kids class, like 3 to 6 year old kids class. For this promotion ceremony, Ross swept me when from his guard, right? Not playing on top, right? Looks like Ross can play on top, but he swept me from his guard. Then he got me on mount, and I was stuck underneath mount, and I said, oh my God, I'm gonna have to prove the lesson that I teach all the kids. And I hit a mount escape, and it was working, and I worked the hardest I ever did to escape that mount. And when I was done, I was like, I'm gonna promote this guy so that the next time I can just tap to the mount.
Jose Rivas is a former Marine who trains with me over at Renzo Gracie Riverstone. He comes to every teammate's event. It doesn't matter what competition you're going to, if you're a teammate of his, he's going to show up to support you, despite waking up at 5 a.m. to take care of his kid and drive her to softball practices. Cruz. Zach Cruz just got his blue belt today. This guy looks like Ryu from Street Fighter. Let me tell you about Zach. We actually went to high school together. He's in the same class as my younger brother, and we used to lift weights at the same gym. And just by happenstance, he saw me wearing my no-gi uniform while at HEB, and you know what? The rest is history. He became an integral member to Renzo Gracie Riverstone, and this guy, he's a natural, man. He's a bodybuilder. He's super technical with his role, very cautious. He doesn't overuse his strength. I think he has super good potential and looks like a model. So I'm super happy to have Zach as part of my jiu-jitsu family. And his little sister Abby, she's gone to more classes than I think anyone else. I think she comes to Renzo Gracie about like 3 times a day. My boy Trevor Jackson just got his blue belt today. He has a newborn kid, and he still shows up to train. Trevor's got a positive impact over at Renzo Gracie Riverstone. Super knowledgeable, he's a good role, and you know what? He's just a good, solid teammate, so I'm really happy to have him among the ranks of blue belt. Luke Marvin, aka the Red Monster. Luke just graduated high school, and he's a wrestling badass. He's huge. He's like 185, but he feels like he's 220. He's super heavy set. And of course, he's Professor Brian's firstborn son, or I guess second-born child, but first son. He's gonna do great things. I'm excited to see where he goes. And Please cut off that mullet, bro. Kenzie Landry. Kenzie is amazing. She's a regular competitor at Sub 100 Pro, and she's the coach for Renzo Gracie Riverstone. She is a fantastic kids coach. One of the nicest people you'll meet. She's also vegan. You can always see her with her buddy Chris. Them two go serve at shelters for animals, specifically pig shelters. So.
Your hair's the wrong color.
Carlos Ruiz. Carlos is the instructor for the kickboxing and Muay Thai program over at Renzo Gracie. He's an awesome person, great personality. He just got his purple belt.
Chica Bonita here is getting his purple belt. Hey, you're getting it there.
Classic.
What's that blue belt? Hey, what? Carlos says, I have 3 questions.
I have 3 questions. 1 minute. 1 minute, sir.
Carlos and I have so many funny sayings between the two of us because we've been training for so long together.
When he calls you brother, he makes you feel special. So I'm glad for him to be on my team. Chris, aka Malaysian Chris. If you ever see his Instagram, he's always doing images of stick figures and just these crazy drawings that talk about his life, jiu-jitsu references, etc. So he just got his purple belt, and something to know about Chris, he's got a crazy rear naked choke, and he's good at leg locks. And he there was this one time where he popped his ankle so loud during practice, I thought it got snapped.
This crazy guy, like, you don't even want to get me started on him. Like, but it's good to see him out here. He had a pretty significant injury. He's been battling for a little bit now. Now he's playing it up, so he's really but it's really, really good to be able to promote Chris. I was just thinking some of the stories that I was going to tell. About you, yeah. You know, you're going to the Live Oak Grill. Chris is there in the rash guard and shorts eating lunch. Hey, what's up, Professor?
Congrats to my boy Chris. Joe McCommons.
Trevor, can you help me? Will you help your dad up? River. Can you go get that to Professor Ricardo? Sure.
Joe McCommons, man, he's one of the staple families at Renzo Gracie. All of his kids train. You've probably seen him around. And Joe's a teacher, and he's also a water polo coach. This guy's got a huge frame, 6'2", 6'3", 200 plus pounds, but he moves really, really well, and he's very technical. Sean just got his brown belt. This guy was over at Renzo Gracie when I first started rolling, and you know, he taught me the ropes. He's really patient with you, and he gives you the time of the day. And oftentimes, people in higher belts don't do that to people who are just starting jiu-jitsu. So I really appreciate him, and congrats on the brown. Justin! Oh, One thing y'all don't know about Justin is he does so much for the academy. He's always cleaning the mats, taking care of the people in ways that you can't see.
Most of you guys know how much Justin does here on and off the mats, and it's really, really great to be able to recognize him for all the work he does on the mats, not just off the mats, but on the mats. He's been
He used to coach the yoga session back when we had yoga classes. Justin's been around, and I'm excited for him to be brown. Nate, congrats on your brown belt, bro. You are an insane role. I'm lucky to have you as a teammate, man. Myra just got her brown belt. And for those of you who don't know, she is a police officer and a huge advocate for jiu-jitsu for law enforcement. What can I say more about Myra? Everyone knows her. She's a huge presence and positive impact. Congrats on the brown. Jenny, the program director for Henzo Gracie Houston, just got her brown belt. Check it out.
Guys, I can't talk about how much Jenny does for this academy. I started with AJ, had been crushing it for the past, I don't know how many years, but like without her, like a lot of what we do would not even be possible. I have tons of crazy ideas, and most of the time she's like, okay.
She's the program director. She does so much for the academy, from registration to administration to taking care of people and to teaching a little bit. She's always professional. She's always responsive, and she's super nice to me. So Jenny, I'm really happy for your brown belt, and hope you don't choke me out.